welcome the Hershey Trojan Marching Band! The Trojan Marching Band from Hershey High School is proud to present their 2025 field show, Clocked In, a powerful exploration of time as both a relentless force and a personal journey. This year's show follows a life lived on the clock, from the bright beginnings of youth to the structured chaos of adulthood, all the way to the reflective twilight of later years. With every heartbeat, every memory, and every milestone, we unknowingly punch the time card of life, a shift that only ends when the clock finally down. Set to iconic hits like Clocks, Time After Time, Don't Stop, Time Warp, and Good Riddance, this emotionally charged production captures the rhythm of existence itself. It challenges us to ask, what did we do with our time? Was it enough?
Check test.
Another shot. Would we live it differently? We're all clocked in. How will you spend your time?
Check test. Check. Check test. Check, check. Check, check, check. Check. Sound check.
Drum majors, is the band ready?
Check, check, check. Check. Check, check, check. Sound check.
Presenting the Hershey Trojan Marching Band.
Mic check, mic check, check, check. Checking, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. Check, 1, 2, 3. Checking, 1, 2, check, 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 1, 2, 3.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Glad you could join us here on PennLive.com as we gear up on a cool Friday night for some division or some Keystone Division football, I should say, here from Hershey High School, and with some big implications at that. It's the Mechanicsburg Wildcats visiting the Hershey Trojans here tonight. I've got John Wenger on my left. I've got Bruce Badgley on my right. I'm PJ Rydell. Glad to be bringing you all this action here tonight from Hershey. And again, those implications, Bruce, not just in the division, but across 5A.
Yeah, 5A. I mean, I took a look at the power rankings today. There are 13 teams, either 6-2, 5-3, and 4-4, going for 4 spots. So these coaches, and believe me, they're going to tell you they're not looking at the scoreboard, but there's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching going on tonight, and especially having to do with this Keystone race as Shippensburg is up against Northern. So we know, Northern's had a tough year, and Shippensburg right there in the race, atop their tide. So this is going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, as far as these two teams are concerned in the Keystone Division, only separated by a game coming into tonight's action. Of course, it is week 9, so that means we've only got 2 more games left to try to control the destiny as far as the playoffs go for these two teams. Mechanicsburg, they've pretty well been in the driver's seat this year, and on top of the Keystone Division, 6-1 in the league, 7-1 overall. Hershey, on the other hand, they're in 3rd place in the Keystone Division, 5-2 in the league, 6-2 overall. And so, as we talked about before the game here, Bruce, a win is key for Hershey here tonight. Meanwhile, Mechanicsburg has a bit more control over their own destiny.
Yes, they do. At least they have some margin of error. I think that Hershey right now, their backs are against the wall. I mean, their playoffs start really this week.
And Hershey's really put themselves in a good spot by winning each of their last 3 games, a 48-31 win over Gettysburg, a 27-17 win over Redland. That was a big win. And then last week, 42-14 over Northern York for Hershey. That puts them in the spot that they're in to really try to make a statement here tonight against Mechanicsburg. Mechanicsburg, on the other hand, though, they've won 4 in a row. 35-14 versus Gettysburg, a win over Redland as well themselves, 14-7. They beat Northern York 35-7 2 weeks ago, and last week a 32-17 win over Waynesboro. So 2 teams that are on a run here, trying to make a statement going into the Keystone Division playoffs, as well as District 3 5A. And so certainly a lot of implications on the turf here tonight. Glad you could join us on PennLive.com. Our broadcast brought to you by our friends at Constellation Energy. It is starting to feel like football season now. Plenty cool here. Not quite chilly, I don't think, but that might change by the time our game is done here tonight. Setting up to kick things off is the home team, the Hershey Trojans. They'll kick it off to the Mechanicsburg Wildcats. The Wildcats looking to continue what's been a strong season. Only 1 blemish on their record. That was a loss back on the 12th of September to Lower Dauphin, 22-21, as the kick is down at the 35-yard line. The Wildcats will start it off from right there.
Wow, really interesting. Really hard, low kick there. I think they were trying to do a hard, almost onside kick there.
You talk about these two teams, you talk about 2 defenses that have their hands full with some specific names. And we'll first see how the Hershey Trojan defense responds to Reese Miller, number 22, senior running back from Mechanicsburg, who has just run wild this year, 800-plus rush yards, has had a solid season thus far, trying to cap it with some more strong performances starting here tonight. So on the first snap of the game here for the Wildcats, it's a run here to the near side by Reese Miller. He gets it past the 40. After the handoff, down at about the 42-yard line. So just as we talk about him, he shows right up at the first play of the game.
Yeah, and I think an important key to the game here, too, is quarterback Noah Apple. I think Noah Apple, he's their second leading rusher, but he's got to be a game manager. He's got to be a distributor. And, how well he's able to accomplish that tonight is really, I think, how far Mechanicsburg's going to go.
I mean, you look at the numbers this season as far as the scoring totals for Mechanicsburg. He and his offense have not really had much in the way of problems producing points when they need them. And a pass here to the near side, in and out of the hands. Is it going to be called a fumble or just an incompletion?
That looked like a fumble live. We'll see what they call it.
Let's take a look at the replay here. We'll see how
it is a fumble. It is Hershey ball at the 40. Wow. In and out of the hands there of Drake Dawson.
Oh, boy, I tell you, that was close. That was really close. That's one of those that would take a long time for the NFL to figure out. That referee had to do it instantaneously there, but automatically a great break for Hershey to start this game.
Yeah, and they go with the screen over to the right side, and really were no blockers over there for him, and he gets hit right away and causes the fumble. And just like that, Hershey's offense is going to have field position in Mechanicsburg territory.
The Hershey offense led by quarterback Cam Sweeney. He's been a handful this year, putting up some spectacular numbers here and taking the run on the first snap of the offensive attack here for Hershey. Doesn't really get much out of it, though. That has not been the case for the majority of the season for him.
Yeah, and, you know, so much of this offense is going to run through Cam Sweeney. You know, I think an important aspect, there's going to be a spy on that defense that's just going to follow him wherever he goes, with the exception of maybe if he, you know, splits out. But I'm sure they're going to have somebody on him the entire game.
Yeah, his first play of the game goes backwards a yard, so 2nd and 11. A handoff here into the pile, and once again, just no room to work with. That defensive line there from Mechanicsburg plugging up every hole in the first 2 plays of the offensive set here for Hershey.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely nothing. There was no push by that offensive line there. Good job by the Mechanicsburg defensive line.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 11 now. Just as quickly as Mechanicsburg gave up the ball on 2 plays. Hershey only going backwards here with their first 2 plays. From the 41-yard line. Hershey offense looking to find a way to convert. Sweeney stepping back. Some pressure there. Finds a man out wide right. Grant later turning the corner. Drives forward. It's about 2 yards short of the line to gain. And I would have to imagine they'll go for it, but let's take a look and see.
Good play design. Got him out in the flat, and then he breaks a tackle and gets an extra about 6 or 7 yards. I got to believe they're going for it.
He ended up getting a total of 9 yards. This is now going to bring up 4th and 2 from the 32-yard line.
It's 4th and 2.
Going for it is Hershey. Sweeney back behind, has 3 guys motioned back to the left. Along that line, the snap to Sweeney. He takes it himself, trying to bulldoze through the line, but that Mechanicsburg defensive line all over it. Well, one of the questions that you had coming into this game was, how would the Mechanicsburg defensive line stop Sweeney and the run game? And, well, they've had an answer for every attempt.
Well, I'll tell you what, a great job by that Mechanicsburg defense there, sealing the edge and forcing Cam Sweeney to take it up the middle rather than to go outside, which quite honestly, that's where his blocking was designed.
So well played on defense to recover from the early gaffe. After the fumble by Mechanicsburg's offense, they take the ball right back over, and now they start over at their own 31. Or 32, according to the scoreboard. Again, some motion at the lines here is Noah Apple. Getting another opportunity here in the second offensive drive. Takes it himself, manages to shrug off one defender, gets around to the corner, still up past the 35, and finally wrapped up there, and the whistles blow the play dead as a helmet comes off of a Wildcat. Well, I'll tell you what, Noah Apple making a little something out of nothing with that escape there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just hard-nosed running against that Hershey defense. Look at him. He doesn't want to go down. The officials had to blow the play dead.
So it is a gain there for Noah Apple and the Mechanicsburg offense, taking the ball to the 37-yard line, 38-yard line according to the scoreboard, but looking at it on the field, I'm going to go ahead and say 37. Second down for the Mechanicsburg offense. And a jump at the line, and that's an easy call. And the flags fly. First flag of the game with 8:23 to go in the first quarter.
That's going to make it going to be about 2nd and 1. Well, that's always, I think, the best play call for an offensive coordinator, especially early on in the game. Oh, they did give him a first down. Okay. It didn't. It looked like it was more than 5 yards, but
the spotting of the ball, the yards
right.
to go on the scoreboard, not quite lining up with what I think I'm seeing, but that's all right. So a fresh set of downs here for the Mechanicsburg offense. They won't ask questions. They'll just hand it off to Reese Miller again, taking it outside that far corner. He's got some room to work with, past the 50, past the 45, down at about the 45, and he is in business.
I tell you what, that is their bread and butter, that kind of off-tackle, zone blocking. Apple finds the hole and just cuts it straight out. He put his foot in the ground, went north and south. Good job there.
But a 13, 14-yard gain there for Reese Miller. Moves the chains once again for the Mechanicsburg offense on the Hershey.
Reese Miller there.
On the Hershey side of the field for the first time here tonight. Across the middle, Apple hands it off to Miller again. Miller, no gain on the play.
Reese Miller. Tackle by number 27, J.J. Peak.
So the ball moves backwards just a little bit, not quite a full yard, so it is 2nd and 10 for no gain on the run. Both lines plugging up the middle. Reese Miller only finding some room there on that far side to set up this fresh set of downs. 2nd down, Apple hands it off once again, spinning, trying to find some room, and he goes backwards by a lot. The handoff there to Grady Weaver, no good, as it pushes the Mechanicsburg offense back. And, I mean, we talked about the Mechanicsburg defense in their last stand, but Hershey's defense really standing up here too.
Yeah, Devin Lutz made a great play on the outside there to stymie that run. And now 3rd and long. This is just what the Hershey defense needs to do here. Get that offense, raise the offense back up for, missing on that 4th down.
Well, as far back as Weaver ended up, it ends up only being 3rd and 12 here. Mechanicsburg offense trying to break out of a 3rd and long. The snap to Apple. Apple stepping back, pressure right on him. Gets it to Miller on the reception. He's got enough to take it down within a yard of the 1st down, just shy of the line of gain. How about Reese Miller there, along with Noah Apple making something out of nothing?
Yeah, what a job. Yards after catch. I mean, that play very easily could have gotten blown up right as he caught it, but he was able to break a few tackles and putting him in position to go for it here on 4th down.
There were offensive linemen beyond the line to gain downfield blocking on that play. That's why it was successful.
So 4th and 1 after Hershey went for it on 4th down on their end. Now Mechanicsburg going for it themselves. The snap. Apple taking it himself, just like Sweeney tried to do it, but this time I think he got enough.
Number 18,
and that is enough to move the chains.
That was actually Drake Dawson.
Yeah, Dawson took the snap across the line, and that's enough for a 1st down. So a fresh set of downs for the Mechanicsburg Wildcat offense. From the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Apple with a handoff, fakes it, and brought down way back in the backfield. Was Reese Miller. Another nice play back there for the Hershey defense. J.J. Peak, Reggie Onway a part of that.
Yeah, Reggie Onway, just a great job there. Look at him. Throw him to the ground. Great play.
So a huge loss there for the Mechanicsburg offense, all the way back at the 41-yard line after the drive started there at the 34. So a 2nd and 17, needing a big play here to gain those yards back in the Mechanicsburg offense. Miller has it again, taking it back to the initial line of scrimmage and getting about 2 or 3 more as he spins through the line. So he erases that backwards play, but still some work to do on 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, that offensive line is really opening up some holes in that Hershey defense.
Boy, Miller, some more nice runs, just unfortunately for Mechanicsburg. A lot of these nice runs just having to erase backwards plays. So 3rd and 7 here from about the 32-yard line. Mechanicsburg needing to find a way to move the chains again and try to keep this drive alive. We'd have to imagine they're in 4th down territory again if they can get to within 2 or 3. Apple keeps it, rolling to the left and brought down at the 44-yard line. Another backwards play for the Mechanicsburg offense as that Hershey defense just all over him. And who else but Reggie Onway again?
Look at him, just chased him down. Good job there. Not allowing him to get outside the pocket is going to be very important for Hershey if they want to win this game. So they're now forces a punt.
Yeah, tough sack to take because, like you said, Bruce does force them to punt. And they would have had a shot to go for it if you were able to get an incompletion there at least. But
the punt floats to about the 10-yard line. A flag does fly on the kick. And on the return, brought down just shy of the 30. On the run there was Grant Later.
Number 3, Grant Later on the return for the Trojans.
We'll take a look at the flag here now, though, is the ball currently spotted at the 29-yard line after the run by Later. Just under 3 minutes left to play here in the first quarter.
Nice return there. Picked his hole very well.
11, Jack DeLuca with the tackle for the Wildcats. That flag was a sideline warning.
Sideline warning, so no bearing on the play. So Hershey now, let's see if they can get any kind of offensive movement going here. They didn't get a chance to take advantage of a turnover, at midfield. So let's see what Cam Sweeney and the Trojans can do here this time.
Yeah, we've talked about Cam Sweeney. He's been prolific for this Hershey offense in so many different ways. Past 1,000 passing yards, closing in on 1,000 on the ground. Just doing a little bit of everything for the Trojan offense, but didn't have much working in that first drive. Brought down there, again, backwards, trying to get around the corner at the 25-yard line. And another backwards play for the Hershey offense.
Watch on the replay how the defensive end just sells out and forces Cam Sweeney back inside so that he can be brought down. Great team defense there.
yeah, they've gone a lot of design QB runs early in this game, and I don't think a single one has gone for much positive yardage. So really good play so far by this Mechanicsburg defense.
That play hasn't worked 3 times in a row.
Mechanicsburg defense stepping up where they need to now on 2nd and 14. The handoff. Sweeney faked the handoff, rolled to the right, gets the pass up the middle. That's enough for a first down and then some. On the reception, bringing it down was Brian Maduena. Down past the 45.
Really nice job there. Sweeney rolls out, hits him in stride. There's nobody in the center of the field.
Well, just as he mentioned, the QB run's not working. They decide to get it through the air, and they connect to move the chains.
Pick your poison when it comes to Cam Sweeney. You can't stop him in every aspect of his game.
Well, as we were just talking about the passing yards and the rushing yards, he knew he had the ability to break out the arm, and there he does. Down at the 47-yard line, a fresh set of downs for the Hershey offense, trying to get back to the other side of the field. Sweeney again rolls right, has some room out there on that far side. Racing up the far side past the 40 after the reception, Jason Donats.
Yeah, they've found a little weakness here in the defense. See, the defensive end sells way too far up that time. And the defensive backs can't recover in time. Another first down.
It's back-to-back receptions where there's really nobody all that close, so plenty of yards after the catch to move the chains once again. Another fresh set of downs, this time from about the 38-yard line for the Hershey offense, finally on the Mechanicsburg side of the field once again. Not all that far from where they started off their first drive of the game after the Mechanicsburg fumble, but weren't able to get much further than this. It's a handoff there, trying for a run, but once again, that line just not giving anything up as Samir Edwards' pace is wrapped up by the defensive line.
Yeah, they're throwing in a little misdirection here. You can see they bring the receiver out there as a possible way to, if Sweeney keeps the ball, takes it down the line, he's got a pitch man then.
Yeah, you can't blame him for trying to put it on the ground again, take it up through the middle after those 2 successful passes, but still not giving an inch to that Mechanicsburg defensive line.
Yeah, and just about ready to run out quarter number 1.
We'll see if they get off one more play with 20 seconds left here on the first quarter, as you mentioned. 2nd and 10 for the Hershey offense, down under 15 seconds. Sweeney this time rolling left, finds a man again, brought out of bounds at about the 30-yard line after the connection with Grant Later, and the clock stops there at 9.6 here on the first quarter.
Yeah, like I was saying, you got to pick your poison there with Cam Sweeney. If you try and hold him on the run there, he'll pick you apart on these short passes, and he's found some openings in that Mechanicsburg defense.
So now it'll be 3rd and 4 from the 32-yard line here. Hershey offense looking to keep the groove moving into the second quarter as it's still scoreless. 9.6 seconds left, so this is the last play of the first frame. 4 yards to gain from the 32-yard line. Sweeney handles the snap, stepping back, airs it out down the left side into the corner, and almost able to bring it down, but not quite for Brian Maduena. A good effort, but just not quite able to haul it all in. Still 4.2 seconds left here in the first quarter after the quick play.
Yeah, just, a good read, mano-y-mano there. Not a bad pass.
Yeah, good look, just a little too much on it perhaps. A good contest there down the left sideline. Sweeney and Maduena trying to break open a scoreless tie.
Good
0-0.
Good job by our buddy John picking that up on camera. He's a machine. That's all he is.
It's 4th down and 4.
I'd beg to differ.
Timeout by
timeout
Hershey.
here.
Ooh, boy, that's tough to take a timeout with 4 seconds left in the quarter.
Yes, that is
of the first half.
probably not what they were going for, but that'll cause us to take a break here with 4.2 seconds left here in the first quarter. And again, thanks to our friends at Constellation Energy for bringing us all the action here tonight, free to you, between Mechanicsburg and Hershey.
Hungry? Swing by the Hershey Cheers Spirit Table located at the entrance and grab a Chick-fil-A sandwich for $7 or make it a
Powering America's growing economy every minute, every day. As the nation's largest producer of clean and reliable American-made energy, Constellation is wherever you are. From families to corner stores to manufacturers to the biggest data centers. We meet the nation's energy needs by generating emissions-free electricity today and for our future.
So that's why 4th down and 4 is why they decided to take the timeout.
With 4.2 seconds left on the first quarter, Sweeney handles the snap, looking for someone downfield, finds a man on the left side. That's enough for a first down and then some, as he connects with Brian Maduena that time. And Hershey has some offensive momentum here as we head to the second quarter. It's still scoreless, but Hershey threatening here on PennLive.com.
Yeah, we'll get ourselves together here in a second, and we'll bring it into our broadcast booth following the replay.
Again, certainly glad you could join us here tonight on PennLive.com. Our broadcast brought to you by our friends at Constellation Energy, as we mentioned a moment ago, and got to hear from them. Certainly a great game for us to be a part of here. Glad you could join us up here in the booth. Again, we got Bruce Badgley, John Wenger, myself, PJ Rydell. Certainly cooling off here a little bit. The offense is finally starting to heat up, though, on the field, at least in particular for Hershey. Finally starting to break out that stuff through the air to get away from that Mechanicsburg defensive line.
Yeah, that's really good offense by Hershey there. They're kind of probing, seeing what they're going to do, Mechanicsburg's going to do defensively against Cam Sweeney. Obviously, the running game wasn't working. They switched to the passing game. Boy, they've shown results, driving in for a possible score.
And now I think the next question for Hershey is getting the ball through the air. Is that going to open up the run game? Or are they going to have to find a way to just live and die by the ball through the air? That's what we'll wait to see here as we start the second quarter. Still scoreless between Hershey and Mechanicsburg. A big matchup here in the Keystone Division between Mechanicsburg, who is on top of the division, and Hershey, that sits in third place at the moment. Only a game separating these two teams in the standings, and for Hershey, kind of playing for their playoff lives here tonight.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, I think all the teams with 6-2, 5-3, and 4-4 records are just under enormous pressure here as the season goes on. And a fumble!
Oh, Sweeney loses the ball. He kept on dancing through the line, and Mechanicsburg recovers at just about the 7-yard line.
Wow.
Incredible.
So that's 2 drives that have been negated by fumbles, one for Mechanicsburg's offense and now one for Hershey's offense.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cam Sweeney had to fight to stay up at first to keep that run going, and then he stayed up too long, fumbled the ball, and I think we have a player down as well.
We do. It was a good-looking run there, as you mentioned, for Sweeney. I mean, he was trying to make something out of nothing, try to get a few yards out and get a little closer, but for the moment there is a player down for Hershey, and certainly hoping that's nothing particularly serious. A bunch of bodies coming together over there, especially because that man down is Sweeney himself, and he is needing help off the field. Well, that changes everything for the Trojans.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see.
I was looking to see if Sweeney had made his way back to the sideline, and after a moment, it's now confirmed that Sweeney is coming off the field, and he needs some help to do so. Not clear which leg he's favoring, maybe the left one. Not that it really matters, because all that matters for the Trojans is the fact that he's not going to be out there, at least for the moment.
And that they turn the ball over, driving in for a possible score. And Mechanicsburg now fortunate to get that turnover.
The ball is placed at the Wildcat 8-yard line.
So insult to injury is perhaps still understating the situation for Hershey. As now Mechanicsburg will take over, although admittedly Mechanicsburg not exactly in favorable field position, but they at least avoid the scoring potential there for Hershey. So Apple handling the snap.
I think that
Takes
was
it
the
himself.
direct snap
Yeah,
to
it's a
number
direct snap
18,
to
though.
Dawson. Yeah, Dawson takes it all the way up to the 30-yard line. What a run there by Dawson.
He's a big guy.
They've done those direct snaps multiple times now here tonight.
Great job up front with the trap blocking. But that offensive line opens a big hole up the middle.
And so a fresh set of downs here for the Mechanicsburg offense, getting themselves out of that unfavorable field position. The ball now at the 29-yard line. On the fresh set of downs from Mechanicsburg. Snap across the middle. Once again, they were looking for a direct snap to Dawson, but a flag on the play, so we'll wait to see what that ends up being.
That is a great changeup.
Penalty is illegal procedure against the Wildcats.
So that puts the Wildcats going backwards.
Line of scrimmage and results in first and
Not much in the way of flags to speak of here in the early part of this game, but Mechanicsburg going backwards on that one. Once again, it's Dawson back there looking for the snap.
Trips down to the bottom. I can't believe he's going to throw the ball.
Dawson takes the direct snap himself and barrels through the line again, past the 40, past the 50, past the 45, down to the Hershey 40. What a run by Dawson.
Well, what great blocking by that offensive line. And set up formationally by having those three receivers out wide to the bottom there, running to the short side of the field. Wow.
Well,
great play design there.
They started this drive inside their own 10, and now all of a sudden they find themselves on the Hershey 42-yard line after two big runs by Dawson. So how about flipping the field for Mechanicsburg, taking some of the momentum from that fumble, trying to work it in their favor as things are still scoreless with 10:30 to go in the first half. The handoff there, trying to turn the corner. He's got some room to work with, but a flag flies, two flags fly at the 35-yard line as Grady Weaver turned the corner there.
Yeah, got to get a hold. Well, that very untimely penalty there.
Another one for Mechanicsburg.
Number 17, Alex Jones.
So again, as we mentioned, the flag's not really a factor in the first quarter, but here in the second quarter, keeps pushing Mechanicsburg backwards after some bigger plays. So finally, the officials have collected their laundry.
And results in second and 19.
Well, Drake Dawson has just been a force, and he's still back in there.
Well, it's second and 19 now, so they're going to need yet another big run from him to try to undo that penalty. And
he's a load at 6'2", 225.
It's first and 19.
And he's got some speed, too.
It is, fortunately for Mechanicsburg, first and 19, so they got some time to try to get out of this hole. The direct snap again to Dawson, takes it himself again, back up through the middle, takes it down just shy of the 45. So another run by Dawson.
That was probably one of their least successful design runs. We talk about the design runs from Hershey's side with Sweeney hadn't been getting the success that they had wanted, but the design runs with Dawson from Mechanicsburg have worked pretty well, and that one, 4 yards or whatever it was, you're almost disappointed with that, the way they've been running it with him.
Well, they're setting themselves up effectively by splitting out, really having an empty backfield and direct snapping to Dawson, who really can't be accounted for by the defense.
Well, now Miller and Dawson are back there waiting for the snap. No Apples lined up on the near side, typically their quarterback, and letting it fly through the air just high. Not a bad look for Drake Dawson to try to put it through the air, but just a bit too much on it.
Yeah, and that's a really good play design as well. You still have to show the fact that when Drake Dawson is in there, that you'll throw the football. You have to keep the defense honest, and that's why they put that play in there.
Tell you what, when he's in there, it looks like they got a linebacker, a quarterback.
He's big.
It was funny that
he's back in there.
It was funny the PA announcer said on one of the runs by Dawson, he said run by the quarterback Dawson. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about calling him quarterback right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because he's just barreling right through everyone. He airs it out this time, though, and he's trying to make me eat my words with that pass, but the pass just a bit behind Jack DeLuca.
Yeah, incomplete there.
Instead of bring up 4th down here for the Mechanicsburg offense, 4th and 15.
Tough decision here.
Noah Apple's been the one to kick the ball in this game, so he is back in there. Likely to do so again here, although they are on the Hershey side. But you got 15 yards to try to make up.
No,
and
I think it's a smart play.
That's a stretch.
Play field position here at this particular point.
Back looking to receive is Grant Later, trying to return the kick. Apple does kick it. Pretty good kick, too, taking him all the way back to past the 10-yard line.
You have to feel that ball.
And
you just have to feel that ball.
It nearly bounced into the end zone. Grant Later let it go, and then Mechanicsburg was able to keep it out of the end zone. So it's at the 1-yard line.
He's outside the 10-yard line. He's got to field that ball.
Yeah, right there to put the stop on it. Nicely played, smart play, J.J. Gould.
Now, trying to see if Sweeney's standing about the 25-yard line right now, trying to see if he's going to come back in the game.
Oh, my.
I don't think.
Talk about insult to injury. Now the backup quarterback's got all of 6 inches to work
with. You're not making it very easy on him. Welcome to some Friday night
there
football.
Goes Sweeney.
Yep, okay, there he goes.
So never mind.
Okay.
Still not a good spot for him.
Yeah.
Regardless of who's back there. But
and who knows how he's feeling right now. I mean.
Yeah, he jogged out there and looked all right. He didn't look to be favoring anything.
Yeah.
But you have to imagine it'll at least affect the rushing. I'm sure he can still air it out, but can he still run the ball? So from the 1-yard line, a tough spot here for the Trojan offense. It's a handoff, and it's wrapped up in the end zone.
I got to believe it's a safety.
They are
they're giving him.
Jackson Hinkle got wrapped up.
Let's see this on the replay.
Excuse me, it was Samir Edwards-Pace that got wrapped up on the play.
He fell forward. He did get out of the end zone, but I'm telling you what, that was awful close.
Yeah, I mean, Mechanicsburg's defensive line has just dominated every single time Hershey tries to run the ball. So I'm not – do you go back to the run here? I mean –
well, you don't have much choice. And the bad part is that Sweeney's got to hand the ball off because I think it's kind of difficult for him to push off.
2nd and 10.
Yeah, we can only speculate how much the injury earlier is affecting him, but certainly not an easy spot even for a healthy quarterback as he airs it out down the near side. Nearly had it with his man right there. Maduena nearly hauled that one in, but just a bit too much on it. So that answers at least one question. Sweeney's arm's still perfectly fine.
His arm's fine, and just beyond his fingertips there.
What a play that would have been.
What a great job on the camera there by our buddy John.
That would have been our chance to see a 99-yard touchdown. I don't know the next time we're going to have a chance at that, but he had a step. He had a step.
He did have a step.
It's still 3rd and 10 from the 1-yard line, so don't speak too soon, although Mechanicsburg would certainly prefer that to not be the case.
Yeah. But they did go with the pass on 2nd down, so we thought they were going to run. Looks like, we'll see what they do.
He does have Edwards-Pace lined up next to him, does Sweeney. And a whistle and a flag from both sidelines before the snap. Mechanicsburg was pointing at Hershey, and it is in fact on Hershey. So Hershey taking a penalty at the 1-yard line. So a whole half the distance to the goal.
Yeah.
Penalty results in 3rd and 11.
Whole lot of nothing going on here from the 1-yard line for the Hershey offense, needing a big play to break out here. Sweeney airs it out again, looking for Maduena again, and he gets him! Leaping at the 30-yard line, Maduena holds it in for the first down and then some. A Houdini act by the
grab.
Trojan offense.
Watch this on the replay. Up and over the defender. Whoa! Great job, John Wenger. Got it all.
A redemption play there for Sweeney and Maduena, connecting to move the ball all the way past the 30-yard line.
And they just went right back to it. Same exact look as the play before.
If at first you don't succeed, move the chains. Fresh set of downs here for the Trojan offense from the 33-yard line after the big play from Maduena and Sweeney. Sweeney rolling out, his legs looking just fine. He finds a man down the near sideline again. Wrapped up and brought down on the Hershey sideline. Devin Lutz comes down with it.
Just a great reverse pivot there. Rolls out on a bootleg almost and hits a strike.
Knocked out of bounds by number 9, Daniel Kurtz.
Boy, Hershey is really moving the ball through the air.
And Sweeney looked pretty good moving outside the pocket.
You would never know.
Too, so
you would never know. Shook it off.
Starting to wonder if somebody was pulling our leg with that play earlier. Moving the ball from the 1-yard line all the way down to the 39-yard line. No, why would we ever intend to punt here? 7:44 to go here in the second quarter. Sweeney stepping up, nowhere to go, brought down at the 40-yard line. Maybe a loss of 1 or 2 on the sack. Mechanicsburg defensive line continuing to give the Hershey offense problems when trying to move the ball on the ground.
Yeah, the back was held in to try and block, but still not enough time there for Cam Sweeney on that one.
It is a loss of about a yard and a half, give or take, on the play. So that'll bring up 2nd and 11 for the Hershey offense. Hershey offense finding some life here on this drive. They've moved the ball about 60 yards from their own 1-yard line. Trying to actually turn it into a score here, though, as we are still scoreless with under 7 minutes left to play in the first half. Sweeney, quick pass to the far side, finds Maduena. Maduena back inside the near corner. He got there to just about the line to gain. He might have been out of bounds first, but let's check the flag.
I got to believe there's a hold coming. I mean, the back judge on the opposite side of the field threw a flag, so it was pretty obvious.
Flags came from both sides.
Pretty obvious.
That one is coming back. Hershey's offense taking a stroll backwards. Mechanicsburg offense, or defense, excuse me. Happy to take that.
The penalty is an illegal block against the Trojans.
So it's an illegal block, not a hold, but still.
Illegal block, okay.
Goes against the Trojans and backs the ball up to the 49-yard line. And so now it is 2nd and extremely long, 2nd and 21. Gonna need another big play here in the next couple of plays. It's another handoff. That time to the far corner and finding a lot of room to work with after the initial contact. What a run there for Caleb Simmons.
Yeah, he just kind of picked his way, had some good downfield blocking, and just kind of snuck his way up there for about, going to be about 3rd down and now about 6.
Yeah, really nice run there by Simmons. First time we've really gotten to call his name here tonight. Pretty much undoes the flag and a little bit more to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Trojan offense. They're in Mechanicsburg territory. Looking for the first score of the game still. Sweeney steps back, has pressure on him, gets hit, ball comes out, and Mechanicsburg lands on it.
There is a fumble on the play.
And it's another fumble caused by that Mechanicsburg defensive line on Cam Sweeney.
Man.
Go
ahead, Bruce.
He didn't. He was hit from behind.
Was recovered by number 56.
56 got the recovery on the fumble there.
54, Colin Stair.
For as good as Cam Sweeney's been, that's the 2nd time he's fumbled in Mechanicsburg territory, and those are backbreakers.
Following the fumble, the ball is placed at the Wildcat 42-yard line.
So it's at the 42-yard line here. Colin Stair, as you mentioned, a a key veteran leader for this Mechanicsburg line, and comes up with a big play there to wrap the ball up and give Mechanicsburg the ball back. Under 6 minutes left to play here in the first half. And we're taking a timeout on the field here, too.
Timeout, Wildcats.
Again, certainly glad you could join us on PennLive.com. Our Friday night football broadcasts all season have been brought to you by our friends at Constellation Energy. Glad to be bringing you this one here tonight. A back-and-forth battle between Mechanicsburg and Hershey, still tied 0-0.
Energy, powering America's growing economy every minute, every day. As the nation's largest producer of clean and reliable American-made energy, Constellation is wherever you are. From families to corner stores to manufacturers to the biggest data centers. We meet the nation's energy needs by generating emissions-free electricity today and for our future.
Homemade chili with cornbread.
Again, thanks to our friends at Constellation Energy for making tonight's game possible here on PennLive.com. John Wenger's on the camera, Bruce Badgley on commentary and making the broadcast happen. And I'm PJ Rydell, glad to be bringing you tonight's action. Still a scoreless affair between the Mechanicsburg Wildcats and the Hershey Trojans in a big matchup here in the Keystone Division of the Mid-Penn Conference. Both teams with some promising drives, but 3 key fumbles as a little trick play comes out and just not quite able to connect with Grady Weaver, intended for Reese Miller.
That's what you've got to do, okay? I mean, Drake Dawson is just going to be the main guy, but having these other plays off of or going through Drake Dawson, man, that is just great offensive philosophy.
Showing off a little bit of everything here. The Mechanicsburg offense trying to break the ice. Under 6 minutes left to play in the first half. Still goose eggs on the scoreboard. Mechanicsburg 2nd and 10 from their own 42 after recovering another fumble forced against Cam Sweeney's Hershey offense. Dawson keeps it after faking the handoff, and that time the Hershey line was ready, knocking him down for a loss at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's. I think that in the Hershey defense now, they're going to have to start, even though they've run these trick plays in the passes, they're going to have to start selling out against the run with Dawson in the backfield there.
They certainly did there, and it worked for a loss of about 2 yards, so it brings up 3rd and 12. Mechanicsburg offense trying not to let another offensive drive for themselves peter out here too. And a different bag of tricks there in the backfield. Once again, back there you have Dawson and Miller handling it after a bit of a juggle and trying to turn up the near corner to just shy of the 50-yard line with Jack DeLuca.
To number 11, Jack DeLuca.
Yeah, the only thing that was tough about that is that Dawson juggled it, though, the snap, but still got it out, and a good block on the outside there. That was by Apple, the starting quarterback, blocking on the outside for the receiver to get some extra yardage.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if you drew up an offensive map for calling the game to show you where every guy is supposed to be, it wouldn't help you very much.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is they're keeping Apple in the game. They're keeping the defense guessing on where Apple and Dawson are going to line up. Great stuff.
That brings up 4th and 3 here. Mechanicsburg trying to capitalize in the midfield. A bit of a jump there for Hershey, but they get away with it, and the kick bounces down to the 10, and it'll stop at about the 6-7 yard line.
Yeah, they got away with it there.
Yeah,
that looked like
jumped.
a jump to me.
Yeah, it sure did.
Well, you know, these turnovers have just, boy, they've been destructive for Hershey. Unfortunately, losing them in the Mechanicsburg end of the field while you're driving down for scores, boy, that's just a tough pill to swallow. Let's see what the Trojans can do now to put that behind them and move forward.
Yeah, certainly not their least favorable field position of the night on offense. Is their last drive, they started from the 1 yard line, managed to get all the way onto the Mechanicsburg side of the field, and ended up with the fumble there at just about the 40-yard line. This time starting a little more favorable from the 7 yard line, but to say that that's a little more favorable tells you the spot they were in last time around. Pass down the near side. Oh. Did he get a foot
No,
in?
he juggled it.
Just couldn't quite handle it there with the contention on the sideline for Grant Later. Boy, it looked really good. And again, Sweeney's showing off the arm here now, and it definitely keeps the defense honest for Mechanicsburg.
Boy, I tell you what, he was right along the boundary there. I think even if he had caught the ball cleanly, he would have stepped out of bounds. But I'll tell you what, there's no bashfulness on this Trojan offense. They are going for it deep in their own territory.
And you might as well, the way the Mechanicsburg defensive line has really stopped the run for him, might as well see what you can get on the sidelines. To Meduena, he's wrapped up, brought down just past the 10-yard line, and they'll be about 2 yards short of the line to gain.
Tackle by number 44, Dylan Taylor.
Yeah, not much room there after the catch, but look, had the desired effect. It got him at least in a decent, down and distance scenario to pick up a first down.
They're not quite as close to the line to gain as I thought they might have been spotted. It's 3rd and 5. For the Hershey offense, Sweeney takes the snap, takes it himself, and he's wrapped up immediately. On defense there, what a play by Colin Stair again. We talked about Colin Stair on a couple plays earlier in the game, including that fumble recovery, and look at the stop there. But look at him just get a hand on him, and that was all she wrote.
He was a beast on that play. I think he still had the blocker on his hip when he tackled Sweeney.
His Stair not to be denied, and that does it for another drive for Hershey. It stalls out within their own 15.
It's 4th down and 6.
So a tough spot to kick on 4th and 6. Just under 3.5 minutes left to play here in the first half. Still a scoreless game between the visiting Mechanicsburg Wildcats and the home team, the Hershey Trojans. A lot of back and forth, fumbles. Really a big part of this game thus far, and the kick handled in a favorable spot at the 45-yard line, trying to reverse fields and blasted by a host of 3 defenders. After handling it was J.J. Gold.
Yeah, he did a good job running up and catching that ball. I mean, he saved probably 15 or 20 yards. Even though he didn't get much on the return, he saved 15 to 20 yards in field position by just fielding the punt.
Still managing to keep it on the Hershey side of the field. It's a favorable start for the Mechanicsburg offense as they've got 3 minutes and change to try to break open this scoreless tie. Well, lining up in the backfield here, you got Noah Apple. He's flanked to the left by Miller, a little bit more like what we saw to start the game. And it's a handoff to Miller. Miller finding some space past the 40 and brought down just shy of the 35.
Boy, that was a really sweet run because the defensive end really came up and forced them back inside, but he had the blocks available to still make some good yardage.
Just muscling, dancing forward for a couple of yards. It brings up 2nd down here and 5 yards to go. Once again, you got Apple back there along with Miller, and now a flag before the snap.
And they've got Drake in there. When he's in there, he's in there at a tight end position.
But now an illegal procedure pushes the Wildcats backwards again. Fumbles and some penalties here in the second quarter certainly have not helped the forward momentum of either offense. Mechanicsburg more in terms of flags and Hershey more in terms of the fumbles. So it's 2nd and 10 as they back up another 5 yards. The snap handed off to Miller, and Miller barrels all the way down just past the 35-yard line.
Dawson lined up as fullback there. Just watch this pancake block. Boom! Oh, my.
Gave him some room to work with. That'll do it.
Crazy.
So the ball is spotted down at the 34-yard line, 2 yards to gain.
It's 3rd and 2.
And you got to think these short yardage situations ought to be the bread and butter of this Mechanicsburg offense, keeping it almost entirely on the ground. On 3rd down, the handoff to Miller. Miller blasts his way through and gets past the 30-yard line, enough for a first down and a handful more to move the chains for the Wildcat offense. Down under 2 minutes left to play here in the first
The ball
half.
is placed at the Trojan 29-yard line. First and 10.
Mechanicsburg trying to find a way to break open this scoreless tie before we head to halftime. Miller takes it himself again past the 25-yard line. Down at about the 22. So Reese Miller continuing to do damage one run at a time.
Well, people are going to say, oh my, not much action in that 0-0 tie. I tell you what, we've been going back and forth up and down the field here. Plenty of action, just not a lot of scoring.
So a timeout taken by Hershey with 1:23 left to go here in the first half.
That is their second charge timeout.
Glad you could join us here on PennLive.com, brought to you by our friends at Constellation Energy. As we say that, I see somebody making their way up the stairs towards us. Speaking of Constellation Energy, perhaps a guest for halftime. Again, glad you could spend your Friday night with us here on the cooler side here. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's cold just yet, but for the first time, I do feel my hands tensing up just a little bit while I'm trying to hold the rosters in front of me.
You weren't here at West Shore Stadium last week on Friday.
Last Friday was probably pretty cool too.
Yeah. A lot more of a breeze that day.
Yeah, it was very breezy.
We were a lot higher too.
And we couldn't see either. I mean, it was so dark on top of the press box. I mean, we couldn't see our rosters. I was holding up my cell phone, and so. But hey, we had fun, and that's the main thing.
It sounds like I missed out.
For the best Greek food in Central PA.
So 1:23 left to go here in the first half. 2nd and 2 from the 22-yard line for the Mechanicsburg offense, and we are still scoreless. The Wildcats trying to change that here before we go to halftime. The handoff from Apple to Miller. Miller has some room to work with. Barrels on past the 15. He's down at about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, another good job by that offensive line. Just straight man-on-man blocking.
Now a little bit of hurry up here from the Mechanicsburg offense. And this time Apple keeps it, passes out to the far side, blasted at the 15-yard line. That reception goes nowhere for J.J. Gold.
And that tackle by Cam Sweeney. Little payback.
Yeah, you think he had a little bit of emotion behind that, trying to lay that hit, as that brings up a minute and 3 seconds left. A timeout taken by the Mechanicsburg Wildcats, and we'll take a quick break here ourselves.
Economy every minute, every day. As the nation's largest producer of clean and reliable American-made energy, Constellation is wherever you are. From families to corner stores to manufacturers to the biggest data centers. We meet the nation's energy needs by generating emissions-free electricity today and for our future.
Second and 11.
Yeah, we got 2nd and 11 from the 15-yard line for the Mechanicsburg offense. Trying to break through here before halftime. Miller wrapped up after a gain of maybe 1 or 2. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 9. Down under a minute left to play here in the first half. Mechanicsburg hurrying things up on the offensive side. It's 3rd and 10 after a gain of 1. Apple airs it out, finds a man wrapped up at the 5-yard line. He connects with Jack DeLuca. Finally getting it through the air a little bit as this Wildcat offense is there 5 yards away, 4 yards away, knocking on the door.
1 timeout remaining for Mechanicsburg. 4th down and 1.
4th and 1 here. Miller takes it. Should have enough for the first down. And Miller does, in fact,
tackle by number 53.
Move the chains. And there's a timeout from Mechanicsburg. They take their last one of the first half with 21.9 seconds left to go here in the first half. And as you were just mentioning a couple of minutes ago, Bruce, you look at a 0-0 score and you think, okay, yawn. But that has not been the case here tonight. A lot of back and forth, a lot of fumbles, ending drives, unfortunately. But a promising looking drive here for Mechanicsburg. Honestly, their most promising drive of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of look back and clearly, the two turnovers by Hershey have, stymied some drives. But look at this effort by Mechanicsburg coming down here with the clock running down, and now they're put in a position to possibly get a score here as the half ends.
Yeah, at least from a scoring perspective, you could argue this isn't just the best drive for Mechanicsburg, but maybe their only really scoring promising drive here.
Yeah.
As they have it 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. And for a team that keeps it on the ground like they do, you have to think that 2 yards feels like almost nothing.
Yeah, and what's surprising to me is that they don't have Drake in there at quarterback. I think he's still, in that alignment that we just saw, had him at tight end. I mean, just for nothing more than, running, through him. I mean, why don't you use him for the tush push? Just get him up and take the direct snap and go straight ahead. I mean,
to your point, you saw like that block that he laid up earlier to give Miller some space to work with on the far sideline. Yeah.
Honestly, that may just be what they do. We'll see. It wouldn't surprise me.
A timeout by Hershey gives them a chance to perhaps switch some things up, think about what they want to do. Hershey takes their final timeout here of the first half. Still scoreless. Mechanicsburg 2 yards away from changing that here with 21.9 seconds left to go in the first half. And glad you could join us on PennLive.com here for some Friday night football. Already winding down the regular season. Next week, the final week of the regular season before we are really into playoffs, and certainly some playoff implications here tonight, particularly as far as Hershey is concerned. Mechanicsburg trying to take care of business and keep destiny in their hands.
Yeah, and stay tuned at halftime. Our buddy Dave Marcheski back with us at halftime. Going to talk football and energy.
And speaking of energy, here comes 1st and goal from the 2-yard line for the Mechanicsburg offense. Miller takes it, barrels through, and he's in for the touchdown. It's 6-0 Mechanicsburg.
Number 22, Reese Miller, the ball carrier. That is a 2-yard touchdown carry.
So a 2-yard carry there for Reese Miller. For all of his efforts here tonight, finally rewarded with a score. As he finds his way across the plane, makes it 6-0. And then here comes the extra point from Tanner Minnick. And that one is up, and it is good. So 7-0 Mechanicsburg.
17 seconds remaining in the first half of play. The Mechanicsburg Wildcats 7 and the Hershey Trojans 0.
So finally, the ice is broken here tonight. 7-0 Mechanicsburg on top with 17 seconds left to play in the first half.
And a really convincing drive by Mechanicsburg's offense that time through. I mean, we've been talking about Hershey's offense this time. Haven't gotten to see a ton of that Mechanicsburg offense. They were much more run-focused, and eventually they're able to put a full drive together, and they're the ones who put some points on the board here. So we'll see what Hershey does here at the end of the half, if they try to run some plays or they just take this thing to the half. But they got to be thinking that this score should be looking a little bit different.
Yeah, if you're Hershey, you at least were able to say, all right, yes, you had 2 drives end on fumbles. They were promising-looking drives, though. All we got to do is clean up the fumbles, and the defense is handling Mechanicsburg just fine, and that's been true. But that drive from Mechanicsburg, that does make you think twice if you're the Hershey defense of, all right, they did put together a good drive, and they've got all the momentum going into the second half.
Sure does. A little pooch kick. Called a fair catch.
Taking on a knee just shy of the 25-yard line. And so Hershey will have 16.3 seconds to do something with it before going to halftime.
Well, we know they can throw it deep, so we'll see.
Well, the good news for Hershey is although the momentum is in favor of Mechanicsburg, Hershey will receive to open the second half. So they do at least have that in their back pocket, knowing they have the opportunity to set the tone when we start the second half of action.
Boy, this has been a long last minute, hasn't it?
Just about every timeout has been used in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes of real time, I should say.
Yeah.
So probably one, maybe unlikely 2 plays, at least 1 play here for Hershey. Heading into halftime. From the 40-yard line. It's a run up the far side. Finally wrapped up there at about the 30-yard line. Samir Edwards-Pace able to pick up a handful, but not all that much on it, and that winds down the clock on the first half. So it is a 7-0 lead for the visitors here tonight. The Mechanicsburg Wildcats are on top in a back-and-forth first half, a long first half. And we look forward to joining you for the second half of action again here on PennLive.com. But for now, we'll send it to a quick break. Dave Marcheski will join Bruce here for the halftime show, and then we'll be ready with the second half of action here on PennLive.com.
Okay, welcome back to halftime here. It is 7-0 in favor of Mechanicsburg, and it's about time you got back to one of the games, Dave. I'll tell you, we had so many people missing your analysis of the first half action. What did you see out there?
Well, it's good every now and then to get the punters involved into a game. They need a workout as well. We had 23 minutes and 30 seconds of punter workouts, and that last 30 seconds there was really exciting. No, I'm just kidding. It's a good defensive game. We had a score by the Wildcats there right before the end of the half, and it's been a good game so far. A little back and forth.
Yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's been a lot of strategy.
Sure.
I think that having that Drake Dawson in there for Mechanicsburg, and really, I thought it was very interesting. They kept the starting quarterback in there at all times, so the defense really can't determine who's going to line up at quarterback. So they're always in the game at the same time. I really like that strategy, and finally paid dividends at the end.
And on the Hershey side, too, Cameron Sweeney is throwing the ball. He's matriculating the ball down the field. They're just not quite getting there. A little bit of, misstep there between the quarterback and the wide receiver. So hopefully they'll get that straightened out in the second half.
Yeah. Here, just put that up a little bit more so they can hear you.
I keep doing that.
Yeah, all right.
Here we go.
I always tell everybody they got to eat
the
microphone.
You got to eat the
microphone.
You got it.
But, hey, so it's been a couple weeks. What's new out at, Constellation?
We've been busy. I got in myself, turning the wrenches at the plant. No.
You're not doing any of the scuba diving, are you?
Not any scuba diving, no. But no, it's been great at the plant. We're getting into a very important time. The training staff for the ILT students, where they get licensed to become nuclear operators, they're going into exams next week. So it's a big time for the plant. We have so many students because we are restarting the project. The training staff has to keep the simulator open about 24 hours at a time, because you can only get 3 or 4 students in there at a time. So it's a very important time at the plant right now, but exciting. Next week is also Nuclear Science Week across the industry. So we're going to do some fun things. The site is going to have a picnic. Those who are not in ILT exams are going to have a picnic. They're going to do some things for charity. We're going to screen a documentary called Nuclear Now by Oliver Stone.
Wow.
You can probably find it on streaming as well. It's a great documentary about the resurgence of nuclear energy in America at this time.
Wow, very interesting. So, yeah, a lot going on out there. I mean, that was pretty easy to see when I was out there a couple of times as well. And, how about the target date? I mean, is that still, looking at 27 sometime?
Yeah, so we announced earlier this year that we kind of shaved some time off. We're still looking at now 2027, probably the later half. We haven't had an exact date yet, but it really depends on the refueling schedule. So we try to load the reactor fuel in non-peak time. So I think we're going to be ready by the summer of 2027. When we go back online, that's yet to be determined, but hopefully in the fall of 2027.
Yeah, really interesting. And what else is going on around Constellation Energy? It isn't just, obviously, 3 Mile Island. I mean, you guys have nuclear power plants, in Pennsylvania and all around the country, right?
Sure. Right here in our backyard, we have Peach Bottom, which is in southern York County. We have Limerick, which is out towards Philadelphia. Those are the 3 in Pennsylvania. We have another one in Maryland called Calvert. So a lot of good things are happening right now. The Peach Bottom facility is in a refueling outage. So hopefully that'll come to Crane. You got about an extra 2,000 union labor contractors come to the plant. They stay in the local hotels. They go to the restaurants for about 3 to 4 weeks at a time as they work on this refueling outage. So it's a big boost to the business. I know Roberto's there in Middletown always loves it because of the pizza places. Hershey around here loves it too.
Yeah.
I know the guys, people working at the refueling outages, the men and women that like to go to the restaurants.
Even the Wawa near the plant
there.
Exactly. I go in
there.
Wawa
and Sheets are always in there.
They, when I told them that I was out to the, the plant there, they gave me like a free drink. So.
There you go. No, it's been going great, and we're getting out in the community, and I had a lot of fun at the Middletown tailgate a couple weeks ago. So it was great support by the community.
Yeah, winding things down here. I mean, how fast has it been? It just seemed like we started this.
We started at Hershey.
I know.
It didn't seem that long ago, but now it's a little chilly out. It's a lot colder than first when it was in August.
Not too bad. I still didn't need the cold here yet tonight.
No, I feel it's good. This is football weather, right?
Yeah,
it feels good out here.
Yeah, it does feel good. It does feel like it, but the season's winding down, and it's been pretty special. Being involved with Constellation Energy and these broadcasts and, what you're doing to the community and everything like that. It's really special. Thank you so much.
I appreciate my time here, Bruce. And you know what? the people like the football helmets and the football jerseys so much, I had to order some extra so our leaders get some too. So, you know, it's been a great campaign, and I really appreciate your time here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave. Thank you so much. Appreciate you
it.
stopping by, and thanks to Constellation Energy for bringing this whole network of games all season long. We got one more left. So, Dave, thanks a lot. All right.
Thanks, Bruce.
Additionally, Hamza volunteers at his
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're able to grab a snack during our halftime break here. Glad you could join us on PennLive.com. John Wanger, Bruce Badgley, myself, PJ Rydell. Glad to be joining you from up here at Hershey High School, where it's a 7-0 lead for Mechanicsburg. A game or a first half where there was a lot of back and forth, really not one team gaining a lot of momentum until the very end. Mechanicsburg able to finally drive it home with a 2-yard touchdown, and it feels like they have suddenly all the momentum going into the second half.
Yeah, really. Even though Hershey gets the ball to start the second half, which is pretty good. Yeah, you've really felt that Mechanicsburg, took control of the game. Drake Dawson, when they inserted him as, the extra quarterback, because he wasn't just a direct snap run guy, even though he, listed as kind of a tight end as well, 6'2", 225. I mean, they kept Apple in the game, and the defense for Hershey, they didn't know where these guys were going to line up. And, that element of surprise there, I think, created a lot of offensive momentum for Mechanicsburg. And I would expect the same in the second half for the Wildcats.
Well, these games are always about who can impose their game plan, and as unconventional the game plan is, it's Mechanicsburg that was able to do that. And they did certainly get some help from those 2 fumbles that the defense forced against Cam Sweeney and the Hershey Trojan offense. In both cases, Hershey was threatening too, so you give a lot of credit to the defense as well. Not just the bag of tricks they're pulling out on offense, but that certainly has helped.
Yeah, those were killers. Unfortunately, drive killers. One time very deep in the end there. So we're ready for the second half. Here we go.
Yeah, inside the 10, where one of those fumbles against the Hershey offense, and as we mentioned, it will be the Trojans receiving the kick to start the second half. So as you mentioned it, they'll be getting the ball, and they have the opportunity to set the tone here. As Mechanicsburg had all the momentum, Hershey with a chance to try to snatch it right back. And off the return, it's a good return, taking it all the way down just shy of the 35-yard line. It's a good start for the Trojan offense to open the second half.
Yeah, and if you're Hershey, I wouldn't panic if I were them. I mean, we've seen them have good drives offensively in the first half, like we said just now. It's been the turnovers, so keep putting some good drives together. They have to get the run game going. That's the biggest thing for them, because they've been able to pass the ball. Sweeney's looked really good, but they've got to be able to get the run game going and balance it out a little bit. But I still think you feel pretty confident going into this second half if you're Hershey's offense.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they've been close. It's only a 7-0 game at the end of the day. You're one quick strike away from finding a way to at least tie this and get the momentum back in your favor. Now the question, as we kind of talked about in the first half, is can getting the ball through the air by Cam Sweeney open up the run game, as the run game opens up there, taking it all the way down to the 45-yard line. It's a good run for Samir Edwards-Pace through the contact.
Yeah, that's how you want to start it. They had a good opening at the line right as he went through. So,
well, that's the first time. Now that defensive end has really been sealing the edge. That's the first time, because Sweeney didn't carry the ball, that the end didn't really overcommit. So maybe they'll bring some other backs into play here to get that running game going.
Yeah, what's kind of the last little curl that they throw into their game plan here that opens up the run game? Because getting the ball through the air hasn't opened the run game. Maybe, as you mentioned, it's stuff like that finally gets things moving as they get Edwards-Pace in there again, a gain of maybe 1 or 2 as he blasted right into the pile.
Tackle by number 2.
The Hershey offense, several good-looking drives there in the first half, but unable to capitalize, thanks in part to giving the ball up twice on fumbles, and one of those fumbles sent Cam Sweeney to the bench. Looked like he was hurt, but he was able to come back into the game on the next offensive possession. Fortunately for Hershey, and he's at least been able to get the ball through the air effectively. As he rolls back, gets the ball through the air that time, finds a man, barreling past the 40 and leaping just shy of the 35 on a run by Jason Donats. Donats been involved a couple of times here, and it's another play to move the chains.
See, and that's where they're taking advantage of that defensive end overcommitting there, going right after Sweeney, vacated the premises there for that pass reception.
So another fresh set of downs here, and the Hershey offense looking like it has a little extra spark to it to try to set the tone for the second half. So that fresh set of downs will start from the 37-yard line. It's another run there. Donat taking it himself and gets 4 or 5 on the run. So Donat getting a little more involved here, and as you mentioned, maybe getting some new guys into the fold here could be the key to opening things up for the Hershey offense against this Mechanicsburg defensive line that just has not given anything all game.
Yeah, and I think, maybe some plays from the bottom of the playbook, that the Mechanicsburg rolled out in the first half.
Yeah, everything you can do. And there's another run up through the middle. Edwards' pace has a lot of room to work with and some blockers to boot. Down at the 20-yard line, another fresh set of downs coming up here for the Trojans.
Yeah, and that's a good misdirection play because everybody was keying on Sweeney, feeling he was going to keep it and pitch it outside, but instead the back crossing and a crossbuck action to the left side opens up a big hole.
First and 10, Trojans.
So how about this showing here for the Trojans marching into Wildcat territory? They're getting close to where things have fallen apart in the past in this game. So can they put together a clean drive here and even the score on the first drive of the second half? Sweeney rolls out, finds a man to the right side, just a bit overthrown wide for Maduena.
Yeah, he wants to have that one back. Pretty easy throw there. Nice little rollout.
Jack DeLuca
misses the connection.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Trojan offense. As good as Sweeney's been through the air and as good as his receivers have been, they haven't quite been in sync as much as they'd like to be here tonight. Certainly a little more in sync might open up more of the run game, but from the 20-yard line, Sweeney and the Trojans trying to make a statement to open the second half here. 3 minutes into the third quarter, it's another run up the middle there, handed off to Grant Later. Captain of this squad takes it for a couple more yards and
by number 44.
Within striking distance of a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, he's reading that defensive end, and if that defensive end is crashing, he's giving it to the back, cutting in front of him. That's the adjustment at halftime that the offense has made.
Well, that's always the fun part about starting off the second half is seeing what adjustments were talked about in the locker room and can teams execute. And so far here in the third quarter, the Trojans have made those adjustments. They got a 3rd and 4 here from the 14-yard line. Sweeney with it again, pitches it out to the near side, a little bit of a floater pass. Edwards' pace nowhere to go as he's wrapped up by 3 defenders. Just hanging on to his leg there on defense was Jack DeLuca. And now the Trojan offense facing 4th down.
Yeah, nice play by DeLuca. Did a good job just kind of playing a zone there. Kept everything in front of him. So 4th down and, God, a long 3. Boy, what a pivotal part of this game.
The Hershey kicker, Carson Goodman, getting in his reps on the near sideline, but he'll stay on the sideline for 4th down. 4th and 3 from the 14-yard line. Trojan offense looking for an answer. Down 7-0 on their first plays of the third quarter. Wrapped up, nowhere to go. The defensive line stands up again for the Mechanicsburg Wildcats. Alex Jones short of the line, and it's a turnover on downs for the Wildcat offense to take over.
Ryan Foose plays that perfectly. He read that play, came up, just basically held the receiver until he got help from his other teammates there. Great defensive play.
So another Hershey offensive drive peters out, this time, fortunately for them, not as a result of a fumble, but instead a turnover on down.
Wow.
And so from the 14-yard line, the Wildcat offense will take over. 7:25 left to go here in the third quarter. Well, look at what comes out of the bag of tricks for the Wildcats. Losing the ball for the moment. Noah Apple was able to recover. So Noah Apple fortunate because, boy, what a fumble that would have been.
Well, they had Drake Dawson lined up as the fullback that time.
So now it's going to be going backwards backwards by 3. 2nd and 13 coming up here for the Mechanicsburg offense. You got Miller back there. You got Dawson back there too. Taking it to Miller.
Handoff to
He maybe gets another yard or two back, but not much to show for it.
Yeah, that defense. You know, I think that they've adjusted to these to this alignment where when they have the trips down to the near side, keeping enough players on that far side to handle the run.
Well, we saw some of the offensive adjustments by Hershey, but now getting to see some of their defensive adjustments, as you just talked about, against the bag of tricks that Mechanicsburg's been pulling out here tonight. It's once again Dawson and Miller in the backfield. Miller handles it, taking it forward, finding some space to work with, gets some blocks, and he's right down at about the line to gain. Let's see if they give it to him.
That is incredible. That was a 3rd down and 13. Another great block by Drake Dawson, springing Miller. Boy, he's right there. I mean, he is right there.
It looks like they're marking him just short of the line to gain.
Yep.
We have an official timeout as they're going to take
That's
a closer
going to be a good
look
yard.
at it. Yeah, not quite able to get there, but boy, again, another really nice run by Miller.
The official timeout is for a measurement.
So we'll take a look and see. It's going to be, oh, that is actually a lot closer than I think I thought.
Oh, he did get the first down.
He did get it.
The result of the measurement is a first down.
Wow.
For the Wildcats.
That's just
From up here,
incredible.
from up here, it did look like it might be a yard short, but yeah, once they measured it, how about that?
Just an incredible execution on that play.
Yeah, very well done there by Miller. He got some great blocks in front of him, too, to give him an open look. As that moves the chains for the Wildcat offense, spotted down at the 24-yard line. Once again, line up with those two guys in back. Miller once again taking it. Miller taking it for another 3-4 yards. Go back to the old bread and butter for this Wildcat offense.
Yeah, and leading the way there, Drake Dawson.
Alex Jones.
I mean, he just kept blocking after he was tackled.
Ball spotted down now at the 28-yard line. It's a 5-yard gain, so 5 more yards to go for the Wildcat offense on the 28-yard line. Once again, as a man in front of him from Miller. Miller carries the pile down to about the 35-yard line, and I think it's going to be enough to move the chains. Yes, it is. So another fresh set of downs here for the Wildcat offense. Churning and burning once again.
No secret about the Wildcats. They're just running right at the Trojans.
The ball is placed at the Wildcat 35-yard line.
Yeah, the old element of surprise not really a part of the Wildcat offense anymore. It was for a little bit there in the second quarter, but it is back to the bread and butter, as we said a moment ago, and it's a handoff again to Miller. Surprise, surprise. He knocks it down to the 40. It's another gain of 5.
Oh, and a flag comes
after.
flying in.
That comes in kind of after the play.
Oh, my.
Flag on the play.
So perhaps something to do with the hit or some extracurriculars.
Yeah,
A face mask.
Maybe a face mask.
Yeah, the VAR official just signaled face mask. I didn't see which team he pointed to, though. Yep, there it is, and it's against Hershey.
Personal foul, face
Well,
mask
not much in the way of
against the
flags
Trojans.
making a difference against the Trojans here tonight until now. That's really one of the first big flags against the Trojans tonight. We'll see if Mechanicsburg can make him pay as he moves the chains again.
Yeah, and, you know, PJ and I are going to have to come up with the constellation player of the game. Got to start thinking about that.
Yeah, well, hopefully some more emergence here. I mean, I think I have an idea of who I might pick, but still a lot of game to be decided with just under 4:30 left in the third, as it's another big run there to the far side past the 40-yard line.
Just great blocking on that play. The defense never really able to penetrate there.
That time Grady Weaver with the run.
Weaver was, 5 yards downfield before he even got touched.
Second and 2.
2 yards to get the line to gain. When another nice run there for the Wildcat offense, who's just having their way on the ground. I mean, for a second there, it looked like the Trojan defense is making the adjustments, but the Wildcats still having their way. Second and 2 from the 45-ish, and another run by Miller moves the chains again.
Yeah, it's just very methodical right now. They're not getting huge breakaway runs, but they're not getting stopped at the line either. They're just slowly chipping away and going to be wearing down this Hershey defense.
Well, and there is the point there that you made, John, is they're wearing this defense down. And all they want to do is keep doing what they're doing. I mean, it'll really lead to one of those big plays that you were talking about there, John.
I mean, when you look at this Mechanicsburg team, it's the offensive line that really does power a team like this. Yes, you got your running backs, but the running backs don't have anywhere to go without that offensive line, as Miller had nowhere to go that time, wrapped up at the 35-yard line. And a big part of that, I mean, is the fact that you have veteran experience on the offensive line for Mechanicsburg. You got two guys that are committed to go play Division I football next year on the line, Jimmy Dwyer, Colin Stair. We've mentioned them earlier in this game, returning starters looking to play Division I next year, and they're playing Division I quality here tonight.
Yeah, they sure are. But a good defensive play there to seal that edge.
Yeah, really one of the nicer stops by this defensive line here for the Trojan defense. It pushes them back to 2nd and 14 from the 35-yard line.
Moved.
And some movement there. A couple of guys jumped.
Sure looked like they were running to the left side. They moved that tight end over to the left side, and with Dawson as the fullback.
And Mechanicsburg going backwards again.
Is a false start against the Wildcats. That is a 5-yard penalty from the line.
So a drive that's been moving forward at a solid and seemingly unstoppable pace. Going backwards here in the last couple of plays, but we've certainly learned and know better than to count them out, even though they face a 2nd and 19 here from the 40-yard line. See if they can't get another big run from Miller. Miller takes it, dances. There's another big run from Miller. He's got the first down and then some. Touchdown, Mechanicsburg. You want to talk about a big run? There it is for you. Miller takes it to the house, but hold on a second.
That would be a 40-yard touchdown, but the officials huddling.
Yep, a flag on the play, so call it back. Not so fast. Holding against the Wildcats helped open up that gap for Miller. And
oh, my.
So once again, Mechanicsburg going backwards.
You know, both of these teams have made mistakes that have really cost them. I mean, cost touchdowns in that particular case.
That is a 10-yard penalty from
especially for Week 9, it feels a little uncharacteristic.
2nd and 15.
Well, part of the game, either way. I mean, the turnovers are what I'm kind of alluding to for the Trojans.
Mm-hmm.
But this holding call, bringing back a touchdown, man, that's hard to recover from sometimes.
So now it's 2nd and 15. Trying to do it again is Miller, but the defense not fooled that time. Wrapped him up after a gain of
tackled for a loss.
Not much,
by
a
number
loss.
57, Haggai Tulo.
So Mechanicsburg nearly had a 40-yard touchdown burst. Could have made it a 2-score game, but instead they now face 3rd and 15 with just under 2 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that was Haggai Dulo who got in there and made that stop.
It's 3rd and
big
16.
3rd down right here. Hershey needs to get these guys off the field.
Handed back, pitched back there to Miller. Miller able to take it to the original scrimmage, but that's about it. So a nice gain there for Miller, but not enough to move the chains. But have to imagine this is 4th down territory. I would be surprised.
It's 4th down. Now they moved the down marker, so it is 4th down. 4th and about 8.
It's 4th down and 8.
Boy, this is a big play. Now, Apple is in. No, he is under center. I thought he was back to kick, but.
It's a handoff again to Miller. Miller gets some blockers.
He fumbled the football.
And he lost the ball. But who landed on it? That's the question. And it looks
well, they got a couple things. Did he get the first down, and did he fumble?
It looks like it's still Mechanicsburg ball for now, but the Trojans talking with the officials. Miller gets it, gets the first down, and keeps possession.
To me, it looked like his knee was down when he fumbled the football.
The ball is placed at the Trojan
What a
20-yard
what a
line.
huge first down.
and 10,
You know,
Wildcats.
on these this is the second time 3rd and 8 that they've or 4th and 8 that they've converted.
So fresh
on this
downs,
drive.
30 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Miller wrapped up immediately. A host of defenders there right on top of him. You got to give the credit where the credit's due on defense there for J.J. Peak and Haggai Dulo.
And they are just eating up all this clock. We've already got under 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. They might just run this out, and we'll be in the fourth quarter.
As slow as the second quarter went, this third quarter felt really fast.
Yeah, they're just grinding it out offensively with the run game, and Hershey's not going to have a whole lot of time if they ever get this ball back.
Yeah, only 2 drives, only 2 possessions in that third quarter as the third quarter comes to a close. It's still 7-0 Mechanicsburg, and the Wildcats trying to threaten here once again. Glad you could join us for some Friday Night Football here on PennLive.com, brought to you by our friends at Constellation Energy.
We bring the energy, powering America's growing economy every minute, every day. As the nation's largest producer of clean and reliable American-made energy, Constellation is wherever you are. From families to corner stores to manufacturers to the biggest data centers. We meet the nation's energy needs by generating emissions-free electricity today and for our future.
For buying or selling homes.
We've had ourselves a back-and-forth affair here tonight at Hershey High School between the Hershey Trojans and the Mechanicsburg Wildcats. It's Mechanicsburg on top here by a score of 7-0. That scoreboard might lead you to believe it's not been a particularly action-packed game, but if you go by just the score alone, you would be wrong. A lot of back and forth here, a lot of drives kind of stalling out after marching all the way across the field. It's been a methodical game. It's been adjustment for adjustment. And it's one of those games where if you appreciate the strategy, if you appreciate the adjustments, then you've certainly enjoyed yourself here tonight.
Yeah, you really have. I mean, if you appreciate the game for what the game is, you know, the chess match that's been going on between these two coaches, absolutely fascinating to watch.
If you appreciate ball handling, it might be one of those games you want to look away from. But if you do appreciate that cat and mouse, like you said, this has certainly been the game for you. Adjustment after adjustment here in the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's Mechanicsburg threatening as Apple gave it away there in the midfield and a gain of 2 or 3 after the handoff to Miller. Miller really powering this offense, trying to make a case for being the Constellation player of the game here tonight. Again,
yeah, you have to at this particular point favor him just on these fourth down conversions on this drive. This is
Apple
the first pass of the
rolling
drive.
To the right. Haven't really seen much of this tonight. Nearly hauling it in on that near sideline there was Drake Dawson. Dawson got out to the sideline. Apple tried to just float it to him, but a bit too
that was
far.
Cam Sweeney on the coverage, I believe. No, that was actually number 3 on the coverage. Good job there by Grant Lader. Got between Dawson and the quarterback, and he just couldn't throw the ball. He had to kind of float it up there and trying to get over the defense.
And just like that, it's 4th down and 8 now for the Mechanicsburg offense. Handed back to Miller. Can Miller work some more 4th down magic?
No, not that time.
Short by about a yard or 2.
You know,
the Hershey defense holds.
I know they'd had success with that call in this drive, but, you know, I think you got to throw the football here a little bit. I mean, in that you can't expect you're going to get 4th down and 8 conversions every single time.
Although they are as close to a perfect record in doing so as anybody, as the officials trying to stop the clock there as we turn things back over to the Hershey offense. The Hershey offense, they put together several good-looking drives, but they still have yet to show anything for it other than a couple of fumbles and a turnover on downs here in their most recent ones.
I'm not entirely sure what the Hershey coaching staff is so upset about.
All I can think
We've had multiple coaches go out and talk to the referee, and they can't start. The referee's next to the sideline. They can't run a play.
All I can think is that the clock must not have stopped. That's the only thing I can think of, but I was not watching, so I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of that they would be making their case for.
To say this is a big drive is a total understatement.
They just added 20 seconds to the clock, so I suppose that was the issue. A new drive here in the fourth quarter. Sweeney steps back, steps up, has nowhere to go. Brought down, wrapped up at the 10-yard line. And once again, that line steps up for the Mechanicsburg defense. They have just been all over them.
Yeah, and you can see they're rushing from the outside in. Those defensive ends are going all the way to where Cam Sweeney is on the outside, forcing him back up into the rest of the rush.
Jimmy Dwyer laying the hit there. We talked about him and Colin Stair being such big parts of the line here for Mechanicsburg. Give them their flowers. They've earned it. 2nd and 14 now for the Hershey offense. Sweeney with the low snap, gets a quick pass out to the far side. A good look there, and brought down just shy of the yard to gain, or the line to gain, I should say, from Maduena. Nice little quick decision there by Sweeney.
You know, and I always like that play. You know, when you've got these guys spread out, throw to the guy who's isolated one-on-one on the other side. You know that's such an easy read. He's going to be one-on-one with somebody. Now, they did have a safety over the top in double coverage, but still, nobody is going to play him that tight to where he can't get about 6 yards, which he did right there.
So 3rd and 1 here, an opportunity to convert for the Trojan offense. Just under 10 minutes left to play in this one. 7-0, Mechanicsburg on top. Hershey still looking for their first score of the night. Trying to get through the middle is Sweeney. He's finally wrapped up at the 25-yard line, and it's going to be enough to move the chains.
Yeah, they didn't need much. This was, boy, this was really hard. He had it right in the gut of the back who came around. He decided to take it. He took a licking, but he got the first down.
You had to wonder how much Sweeney would be stretching out the legs here in the second half after appearing to go down with an injury in the second quarter.
No real effects, really.
He seems to be 100%, or at least he's playing it off really well. First set of downs. Sweeney steps back, now stepping up, trying to find a way through the pressure. Just has to take it to the sideline, dances forward to about the 30-yard line, a gain of about 5. Made a little something out of nothing again there. That's nicely played by Sweeney.
Well, that's what Cam Sweeney does. And when he breaks contain like he did there, he's going to make some yardage and do some damage.
He could do damage on the ground. He could do damage through the air. Mechanicsburg's been able to do just enough to keep him off the scoreboard tonight. Sweeney trying to find a way on this drive to change that. 2nd and 5 from the 30-yard line. Sweeney again takes the snap, tries to get a little high percentage play, and there you can see the frustration in his body language as he just pegged it into the ground in front of Maduena.
Yeah, just
try to be a
little rushed it there a little bit.
But again, they're trying to kind of change up the tempo and see if they can't find a way to break this line from Mechanicsburg and get some open looks. Yeah, so you got to try stuff like that. But
yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, if that rush is going to come in, you got to get it out quickly to the outside, especially if they're not going to have anybody on their press. Like the guy in the slot there at the top of the screen.
So on 3rd and 5, Sweeney airs it out near side. He's got a man, Maduena, for the first down. Wrapped up just shy of the 40-yard line, but that's enough to move the chains.
And again, there's that throw to the isolated guy, this time on the short side of the field. He just one-on-one. Sweeney takes his drop. He knows that guy's going to be open.
Just good quick decision-making by Sweeney, and the receivers getting there where they need to. Not easy catches necessarily for these receivers, but able to haul them in confidently despite all the drops we've seen earlier in the game. Nice pass right down the middle for Sweeney. Another first down coming up for this Hershey offense. Finally looking like it's clicking on all cylinders thanks to Alex Guzman.
You know, all night long, Hershey has tried to run the football, and then they start to throw it, and they can move the football. So I think they're going to be throwing the football here for a while.
And so many of these throws from the back foot for Sweeney, too.
Yeah.
You really have to like what you're seeing if you're the Trojans. The way their offense has marched into Mechanicsburg territory now. Fresh set of downs from the 46-yard line. Sweeney again steps up, finds his man for another high percentage. Out at the 30-yard line, past the 30-yard line is Meduena.
And he's got some zip on the ball every time he throws it. It looks really good.
Well, he was looking to his left the entire time. And that receiver, basically, Mechanicsburg running a zone, and they're just kind of letting those guys catch the ball in front of them. And that just comes from those long pass completions earlier in the game.
A little clinic here by Sweeney and the Trojan offense with the receivers outside. Looking for another pass here. Has to hesitate a little longer and not able to get the quick decision. He's able to find a man downfield, but pushed out of bounds before the completion. Nicely played on defense there to avoid a big play.
Yeah, and good job by Sweeney. He was running for his life there. I mean, he did a good job in getting the ball as far down the field as he did there.
Yeah, at that time, finally, the Mechanicsburg defense, especially in the secondary, was able to make sure that Sweeney didn't have any options on the quick decision-making he's been doing here in the fourth quarter. Down to 8.5 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Glad you could join us here on PennLive.com. Again, our broadcast tonight brought to you by our friends at Constellation Energy. They bring the energy.
We bring the energy, powering America's growing economy every minute, every day. As the nation's largest producer of clean and reliable American-made energy, Constellation is wherever you are. From families to corner stores to manufacturers to the biggest data centers. We meet the nation's energy needs by generating emissions-free electricity today and for our future.
After Talon Verdelli went down for Mechanicsburg, he's off the field, and that brings up 2nd and 10 here. Hershey's offense on the move into Wildcat territory, and now trying to finally convert with a score. Another one of those quick passes, a little pitch back to his man. Finally coming up with it there was Caleb Simmons after he got the pitch from Meduena on the initial reception. They pick up a couple more yards, not quite enough to move the chains though. Pulling out some bottom-of-the-bag trickery here are the Trojans.
Well, and they've got to do something. I mean, you know, you've got to use Cam Sweeney as a decoy. If they're going to take him away, then you've got to distribute to the players that have the capability to make some yardage.
Trying to make some adjustments here, the Hershey offense. They've got a yard to go here on 3rd down, trying to keep this promising drive alive. Several promising drives here tonight for the Trojan offense. Not one of them has resulted in a score yet. Trying to change that here with just over 8 minutes left to play. Sweeney takes it, hands it off. Is it enough for the first down? Edwards Pace, not quite. Edwards Pace not quite able to get there. And so that'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, what do you do here? I don't think it's a question of whether they're going or not. It's like, what's the play call?
Yes.
I'm not taking the ball out of my best player's hands. That's all I'm doing.
It's hard to disagree with that. But, you know, sometimes he can, you know, Cam Sweeney's going to, regardless of the play that comes in, he's going to improvise to get the job done. So
it's 4th down and 1.
So Ken Sweeney and the Hershey offense improvise their way to move the chains here from the 19-yard line. 4th and 1. Still looking for their first score of the night, trailing 7-0. Trying to get the line to jump, and there's a flag in the end zone.
Delay.
Oh
my goodness.
Hershey.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they were trying to get Mechanicsburg to jump, and instead they're the ones that end up going backwards.
Oh my goodness.
And again, this has just been a game that'll be decided, it sure seems, by mistakes. Fumbles, penalties, although I wouldn't go so far as to say that they've dominated the action. They certainly have been the most monumental plays tonight. So now it's a 4th and 6 situation for Hershey. And
looks like it's an RPO. But Sweeney
Sweeney
back.
running out of time.
He's got a man.
Airs it out. Who came down with it? It is incomplete. Boy, I thought for a second there that one of those guys actually came down with it. Had a couple of guys in there. There was Caleb Simmons and there was Alex Guzman, but neither of them able to come down with it cleanly. And it's a turnover on downs. Another Hershey offensive drive stalls.
Sweeney didn't have any choice. He just had to launch it. And you're right. One of his guys, I think one of his receivers did get his hands on the ball, but just couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, it was either Guzman or Simmons that were both back there, and it looked for a second like somebody came down with it, but at the end of the day, it was an incompletion. Turnover on downs at their own 24-yard lines for the Mechanicsburg offense. And if you're Mechanicsburg, I think part of the strategy here is you got 7 minutes and 15 seconds left. See how much of that you can drain off, although you still have timeouts remaining on both sides.
Yeah, each team with 3 timeouts remaining. 7-0. I wouldn't call it a say-what game, but it's pretty darn close to a say-what game.
It's one of the, I mean, it's kind of what you hope for from a game like this.
Well, people expected this to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, the defense getting a little more showtime here tonight than maybe some teams expected, but you did expect a back-and-forth game as far as a Mid-Penn Conference Keystone Division rivalry game would go. Mechanicsburg again coming into tonight's action 6-1 in the league, 7-1 overall on top of the division. Hershey, third in the division, 5-2 in the league, 6-2 overall. And Shippensburg, as we mentioned, I believe playing Northern tonight, so you know the pressure's on Hershey.
Big third down right here. If Hershey can get a stop, could set them up for a good field position.
And just put some momentum back in their favor. Miller trying to stop that, and he gets the first down. I'll tell you what, not quite automatic, but as close as you could possibly get.
That is incredible. That's their bread and butter play on 3rd or 4th and 8. It's just that pitch with Miller and that offensive line. They're still blocking beyond the line to gain downfield. That's just incredible effort by that offensive line.
Yeah, this line really, I mean, we got to decide on a consolation player of the energy game, a player of the game here. And I think Miller's really making a nice case for himself. But, boy, if you could credit the whole O-line. Wrapped up back behind. A good defensive stop there for Hershey.
Yeah, that was number 11 there, Reggie Onwa.
Yeah, Reggie Onwa making his presence felt there with a big stop.
Onway.
So backwards goes the Mechanicsburg offense there. Down at about the 34. 2nd and 14.
Looks like it's going to the left. But it's not. Miller comes back to the right, kind of away from his blocking. Got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Tackle by Noah Cohen.
Very interesting.
So we'll have 10 yards to go on 3rd down.
Do they dare pass it?
I would be shocked if they do.
Yeah, well, look, I mean.
If it was 2nd down, maybe. 3rd down, I don't know.
I mean, if they get close enough with a run and don't get it, but it's a closer 4th down, they can go back to the run again. I mean, they've got some options, but
they're going to throw it on 3rd if they're going to run it on 3rd if they're going for it on 4th.
It's a handoff again to Miller, and Miller again.
Fumble!
There's no room to work with, and it's a fumble. Whose ball is it? It is Hershey ball.
Wow.
In a game with one fumble after another, and several of them hurting Hershey, they have a chance to capitalize on one here.
Incredible.
Really good field position for Hershey.
Oh, yeah, and how many times have they had good field position in this game but haven't been able to put points on the board? It's now or never for Hershey's offense now.
Yeah, only 4:19 left to go in this game.
They've been able to move the ball, but they haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone. And
well, let's see if Cam Sweeney can take advantage of a fumble by his opponent.
Yeah, he's given up 2 fumbles himself here tonight. You know that's kind of that's sitting there at the forefront of his mind. Can I pay them back for that with a score here? Starting from the 40-yard line, Sweeney stepping back across the Hershey logo, slings it right down the middle, and nobody home. Just a bit too much on that. I guess looking for Grant Later down there, but
yeah, he was double caught.
Yeah.
He was blanketed. Yeah, I mean, Cam, That was his only option. He did the right thing in that he threw it where nobody but his receiver was going to be able to catch it.
Yeah, because you can't give up an interception here. An interception would be back-breaking, so that is all he could really do with it. From the 39-yard line, we'll bring up 2nd and 10. As John put it, now or never.
Yep.
With this Hershey offense. They've come close. They've had good drives. They have yet to find their way into the end zone.
Empty backfield.
Trying to change that here. No real surprise about. And trying to throw it is Later. It's Later that takes the snap.
Wow.
He runs to the right side, and he is down just past the 35-yard line. It's like, I was watching for a second there as soon as you mentioned the backfield, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Grant Later back there. As Later took it there past the 35.
Well, good job by Later, though. He didn't force it and made a positive out of a negative there. So 3rd and about 5. Oh, the drama.
A huge spot here for the Trojan offense. You're in 4th down territory, of course, but
that's Later.
Later again is back there. Later airs it out through the middle, gets a man for the 1st down, wrapped up at the 20-yard line. He connects with Alex Guzman. And how about this Trojan offense pulling out the bag of tricks themselves?
Well, I tell you what, that's gutsy. Stands right in there, good clean pocket, and delivers a strike across the middle. I mean, that took guts. There were 5 defenders around him.
And only the 2nd throw of the game for Later to gun it right down the middle like that. Gutsy is a good way of putting it.
Mechanicsburg has played a zone defense most of the night.
Fresh set of downs from the 21-yard line here. Later takes it again, rolls to the right. Later throws, tries to find the corner, and it's picked in the air,
oh
but is
God,
it
it's
inbounds?
picked off.
Is he inbounds? Is it an interception?
Yes, he called it an interception. Let's watch the replay here.
It was Noah Apple. Noah Apple. Look at him step up there.
I don't see that I don't see that he was in bounds there.
Maybe got a foot. But oh my.
I don't see that he was in bounds. Let's see if it just missed. Seeing if he got that a foot down. I didn't see that he got. I honestly didn't see that he had a foot down there.
It's so hard to tell, especially since we're on the opposite side of the field. But
well, yeah, opposite side.
Regardless of what we think it was, regardless of what the replay says, the call on the field is interception, and that is backbreaking for the Trojans. Now, Mechanicsburg can try to find a way to run the final 3.5 minutes off the clock, but again, all timeouts still remaining on the board for both teams.
And that's what Hershey has to do here pretty quickly. I would think they'll start using his timeouts after this next play if they have a stop here.
Along with Haggai Dulo.
3 minutes and change left on the game clock.
Boy, have turnovers just been a huge part of this game for both teams.
And it really is that's what's decided this game. I mean, you could argue that Hershey should have 2, maybe 3 touchdowns on the board, but instead it's 7-0 Mechanicsburg. You could argue perhaps that Mechanicsburg should maybe have another of their own.
And there he is!
Another run by Miller, blasts all the way to the 35-yard line. Another fresh set of downs for this Mechanicsburg offense, powered by Reese Miller.
So huge there. Look at Drake Dawson leading the play. Key block there, springs him to the outside. Wow.
This Hershey defense has known what's coming at them pretty much the whole game. It's Reese Miller in this run game, and they haven't been able to stop it for the most part. That makes it all the more impressive on Mechanicsburg's part. So they got control of this game with 2:18 to go.
Yeah, absolutely correct, John.
And they still have yet to use the timeout. Clock keeps on ticking, get closer and closer to 2 minutes. Miller takes it again, no surprises there, and a gain of another 2 or 3.
Now they got to start calling timeouts.
Tackled by Jason Gonad.
One would think.
They've got 3 timeouts.
But down under 2 minutes, the clock keeps
second
moving.
Down.
Clock down to 150. Still no timeouts being called, and of course, no urgency from the Mechanicsburg offense.
Absolutely.
Noah Apple running across, talking to his team, making that key interception there, and he's under center. Apple takes the snap, hands it off again to Miller. Miller, maybe a yard.
There's a
not much.
timeout.
Take a timeout. There it is.
Finally a timeout. Under 90 seconds left to play here. The Trojan offense finally using their first timeout of the second half.
So I want to go back. I was surprised they put later in at quarterback towards the end of that last drive for Hershey. I was surprised by that because Sweeney's out there right now on defense, so he wasn't injured.
That's not uncommon. Hershey has done that throughout the season. They'll throw some change up like that. I mean, but I was surprised that it happened in that situation.
Right. I mean, your season is on the line, and you make an adjustment like that. I mean, maybe that's why they did it. They wanted to be aggressive, and when your season is on the line. But I mean, at the end of the day, he throws a pick, and it was a pick that probably could have been avoided. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it really is. And, he tried to force that in there, double coverage at the goal line, trying to make a play. Yeah, I mean, you can't fault him for trying to make a play there. It was actually the defender making a great play to intercept it and getting his foot down before he went out of bounds.
Yeah, what was that? Only his, fourth, fifth throw maybe since coming in at quarterback. So, I mean,
that's tough.
It's hard to necessarily fault him, but at the end of the day, that's the backbreaker. Although you can certainly trace back a number of turnovers that you could also qualify as being backbreakers, but that situation. 1:27 left to play. Still 7-0 Mechanicsburg, and they've got the ball 3rd and 7 from the 39. And a jump at the line there, and the mistakes keep piling up.
After the timeout. Ouch.
Now, is that going to be a first down, or is that going to be closer?
I can't believe it, but it just changes the whole down the distance scenario here. So now it's 3rd down and 2.
Against the Mechanicsburg offense that
or 3rd and 1.
2 feels like nothing.
Right.
3rd and 1 feels like nothing.
Right. Considering they've converted on 4th and 8, 3rd and 9. I mean, with Miller and that that group up in front.
And on 3rd down, blasting through the
line. And that just about does it. Yeah, getting that first down, I don't believe they're Hershey, even if they use both timeouts and stop them, that they're going to get the ball back.
Yeah, I mean, they use another timeout there to stop the clock at 1:23.
That is their second charged timeout of the second half.
I think it's safe to say that Reese Miller is going to be our player of the game here tonight.
Absolutely
right. Hard to argue just about anybody else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Reese Miller, I'll tell you what, he's kind of a figurehead really for that running game, but Reese Miller and those incredible 4th and 8, 3rd and 8 conversions in the second half.
Yeah, and again, give credit to that offensive line.
Yeah,
Miller wouldn't be able to do half of what he's doing, as impressive as he is.
Drake Dawson and the change-up that he provided. And that's the funny thing. We have not seen Drake Dawson at quarterback at all the second half.
Nope. Just get the ball to Miller and let him run. They've had Apple in there taking the snaps.
With Dawson leading the way there at fullback, my God, that's just like an offensive tackle running interference.
Yeah, as John mentioned it a little while ago, the fact that you know what's coming pretty much every single play for Mechanicsburg, but you still can't stop it, tells you just how good that line is, just how good Miller is, along with Dawson. And again, you talk about some of the experience, especially Dwyer and Stair on that offensive line. I think sometimes on broadcast and in general coverage of football, the linemen don't always get all the credit they deserve, but they deserve a ton for this game here tonight.
They absolutely do.
Gritty game.
And that offensive line just in the way that they, move the Trojans off the ball, and Miller, picking his way through those holes, just a great job. I mean, and even though the score only 7-0, it was really an action-packed football game. The most action I think I've ever seen in a 7-0 football game.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, as you called it, kind of a chess match earlier in the game, and that one score was a 2-yard rush from none other than Reese Miller. That was back with 17 seconds left to go in the first half, and that's been your entire scoring summary. The extra point was good by Minnick, and that is it But again, a lot more action than the scoreboard would tell you. So the final timeout taken by Hershey. So at this point, Mechanicsburg just needing to
2nd and 15.
run it down. Once again, taking a knee is Apple. That keeps the clock on moving.
Yep.
And they should be able to take one more knee here and have that be it. So
Yeah, just take one more, wrap things up. So for Mechanicsburg, again, keeping control of your own destiny here as far as not just the Keystone playoffs go, but also District 3 5A. And, I mean, for Hershey, it's just as frustrating a way for things to kind of come to a close.
Yeah, right. I mean, season kind of slipping away here with this loss.
It was one that they really needed to win, a statement if they could have. But
they're rooting for other teams now. I
Yep.
mean, their destiny is not in their own hands.
But for Mechanicsburg, it absolutely is. And with that knee, that does it. Mechanicsburg, the Wildcats come in here to Hershey, and they pick up a gritty 7-0 win. And again, the lone score, the one that made the difference and really powered the offense here tonight. Behind that solid offensive line from Mechanicsburg was none other than Reese Miller. His touchdown with 17 seconds left to go in the first half makes the difference. 7-0 the final. Mechanicsburg is on top, and they're looking forward to setting themselves up in a good position for winning not just the league, but trying to make a run in District 3 5A.
Yeah, really. District 3 5A, there's some, obviously the 800-pound gorilla in the room is Bishop McDevitt, but, I mean, they're going to make themselves a nightmare for a lot of teams in the postseason, the way that they can run the football.
They'd love to do so against Bishop McDevitt, too, as it was Bishop McDevitt that knocked them out of the D3 5A semifinal last year. So they would certainly love to have something to say about that this year as the reigning Mid-Penn Keystone Division champions pick up another win here tonight. They improve to 8-1 overall and 7-1 in league play. They have their sights firmly set on the playoffs, and after that 7-0 win, we're going to be wrapping things up here from Hershey. For Bruce Badgley, John Wenger, myself, PJ Rydell here on PennLive.com, and our friends at Constellation Energy bringing this broadcast to you. We are glad to have been joining you here tonight for some Friday Night Football. We look forward to joining you next week to wrap up the regular season. Have a great rest of your weekend.